Hi, I'm Megan Fay. I'm the owner of Extraordinary Days, a wedding planning firm in London. We plan weddings in London and all over the home counties. So anytime I start planning a wedding with a new couple, the first thing we do is have a chat about what really matters to them. And most of the couples that I work with say that they really want their guests to have a great time. Most of the couples I work with have guests traveling from all over the world, really. And so if they're going to make that effort to come to the wedding, then the couple wants to show them a really fabulous time. And so this is what I say. I'll let you in on my secret here. I say there are three things that you have to get right for your guests. And if you get these three things right, then your guests are going to have a fabulous time. The first thing is this. You can't let your guests get too hot or too cold. So what does this mean? If, for example, you're having a marquee wedding, then you've got to have the proper air conditioning or heating and cooling. This has to be factored in from your budget from the beginning. There's no point decorating a beautiful marquee, going through all the work of finding a perfect venue to host a marquee, if when your guests get there, they're freezing cold. Or if you decide that you're going to have a ceremony in the middle of the field with no covering, then you have to warn your guests ahead of time so that they can dress appropriately. Next, guests don't like to wait around. They don't like to wait around, especially when they have nothing to do. So this is why you plan your wedding day to a T, minute by minute. I know this doesn't seem very fun or romantic while you're doing it, but on your wedding day it really pays off because you get to relax while everybody else runs the whole schedule that you've planned. It helps you not run ahead of schedule or behind schedule. And it's this running ahead of schedule or behind schedule that oftentimes leaves guests with nowhere to go because, say, another room isn't ready for the next phase of your wedding. Or if you're having a receiving line, then you have to make sure your guests are entertained during that time. Make sure that the music is still going and the champagne is still flowing. Finally, make sure that your guests are not hungry. You've got to have enough food during your wedding. So think about the timing of your wedding. If you're having your ceremony during lunch, then your guests are going to come not having eaten. So you've got to have more canapes than maybe you normally would. If that's not in your budget, maybe think about changing around your ceremony time. The next part to think about is after your dinner. After dinner, if your guests are going to be really partying hard, if they're going to be dancing, and if you have a lot of heavy drinkers in your group, then guests are going to get hungry when it is the early morning hours. So no matter how fabulous your dinner was, no matter how many courses it was, you've got to have those evening snacks for the people who are going to be hungry. Because what you don't want is you don't want your guests leaving, and the last thing that they remember is that they left your wedding, this big event, fabulous party that you've thrown, hungry. So those are my 3 tips. These are the 3 tips I give every bride and groom that I have. And so if you think about those things, you plan ahead, then your guests are going to be very lucky they're coming to your wedding. They're going to have a fabulous time. If you like this video, then follow us on Facebook for more tips and more wedding planning, pretty inspirational photos. Happy planning!